Well, joining us today is Mark Luchinski, the CEO of Earthwise Minerals Corporation, listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange with the ticker WISE, W-I-S-E. Well, Mark, thank you for joining us for the first time here on StockBox. How are things?
Things are great. Thank you for having me.
It's good to be speaking to you. I wonder if you can perhaps start us off by perhaps giving us the elevator pitch or the high-level overview of the company.
Sure. Yeah. No problem there. We've had this company for, I'd say, 6 months.
Okay.
We changed management, and I came on as CEO. And shortly after that, we're quite lucky to. Well, in the office I'm in here, I work with Andy Randall on another company. So he was able to find a project for me. He knew that I was looking for one, and it just so happens that Eagle Plains had a project that was perfect for us, called the Iron Range Gold Project. Now, that project is located in British Columbia, and its primary commodities are gold, silver, lead, zinc, which was great for us. But what was most important about that project was the accessibility. The CP rail goes right through the project. Highway 3 goes right through the project. There's a network of logging roads and whatnot, and lots of water for drilling. Electricity goes through the project, so we're all set up if we find something. And a few other highlights I would say on the project is that they're currently now, I would say, at the time there was a 2.5 year drilling program, or drilling permit, I should say, all access, whatever we want to do within reason on the project. So we have another 2 years left of that. And another wonderful thing was, excuse me, is there's $8 million worth of work done on the project over the years. Now, Eagle Plains staked this project back in 1999 after the Canadian government let it go. They were looking for iron, thus the name of the project, the Iron Range Gold Project. We threw in the gold because that's our focus. So there's a lot of work that's already been done on this project. We're the third company to come in and option from Eagle Plains, and they're excited to get back to work on exploring for gold, because the last company that had the option was not interested in that feature.
Okay. Interesting. So it's a bit of a new leaf, let's say, turning over a new leaf with the new management coming in, and this project being brought in the last 6 months. So this Iron Ridge project, then, it sounds quite interesting. So it's been around for a while, I guess, with 8 million put into the ground already there. And you say you're a third company to option that. So, I mean, I'm kind of interested to know a bit about the history here. Has it been explored with different metals, and the timing, the place has just not been quite right for previous explorers here?
Well, yeah, I think a bit of both, all the above. So I could go through the history generally. It was discovered by the Canadian government as they're putting the rail through the project.
Right.
They discovered lots of iron, and they in turn did a lot of testing in the area for all types of commodities. One of the things they were looking for was arsenic, and one thing that I've learned is values of arsenic are often paired with gold. So there's some pretty high values of arsenic in the project. So we're hoping that will lead to gold. But what I will say is the first company that took on the option was called Providence. And they did some drilling on one particular zone called the Talon Zone. And they got one intercept of, I think, 57 meters of 1.9 grams per ton gold. And within that, there is silver, lead, and zinc. So some plus there. And then within that intercept, there's also some higher intercepts of gold. And there's a few other holes that drilled off quite well. So back then, when they did that work, they did a ground program, they did IP, and then they drilled. And they did quite well. So did Eagle Plains, actually. So some of the investors from Eagle Plains are quite happy that we're going to focus on that area again. And they've actually taken part in a private placement that we did recently. So the market changed on Providence back, I guess, in 2014. They decided that they were going to focus on their Mexican project, so
Okay.
they ended up selling their their option back to Eagle Plains for cash and shares. So the next company came along. Yeah. I mean, let me back up a little bit here. So the next company that came along was a tech company, and they had some type of technology that they were testing on the project. And the reason why I said let's back up here a bit is this project is quite large. It's 21,000 hectares, and it's geologically diverse. So I think what they saw, and I'm just hypothesizing here, is different type of rock. Put a drill hole in, use their technology, and see what it says, and get some feedback on that. And that's all I really know about it. I don't know much more about it than that, other than they were not interested in gold, silver, lead, or zinc. They were just interested in the geology of it all. So when that option expired, or I'm not exactly sure how that ended, to be honest with you, but when we came along at VRIC early this year, so in January, I found out that this project was available through Andy Randall, who's a QP in BC, and he's done a lot of work. He's a friend of mine, and he helps out with Earthwise a little bit as well. And he said, you've got to grab this project because it has had so much work done on it already throughout the years. And the beauty of that is Eagle Plains is the continuity throughout. They've used Terralogics the entire time. A lot of the geologists have done the work from the inception that Eagle Plains acquired the project. So they know where to go. They know all the data. We could have been a new company that came into this project and said, okay, this is great. I'm happy to have this option with all this work that's been done already. Oh, wow, look at all this data. What am I going to do with it? We did do that. Like, we did crunch all the data the best we could. I do have an excellent board with a geologist on it. Andy Randall also was able to help. But because of that, they know where to go, in theory, right? We all think we know where to go, right? But we're quite hopeful that we can get onto the project. And very recently, we did a ground program where we collected 538 samples, some of those chip samples as well. I believe 18 were. So we were anticipating getting those back in the next 6 to 7 weeks. That would be, I guess, late October or maybe mid-November. Not certain exactly. But as we know, labs will give you the results when you get them, and they are busy these days.
Indeed, particularly with gold. So I guess the gold is what you say you're after, which is timely, given, of course, what's going on with the gold price. Before we just get into what work you're going to be doing, just talk us through the option agreement here, some of the milestones you have to do to, I think you can earn up to 80% in total. Is that right?
Yeah, thank you. I will. Yeah, it's a 4-year option. After the 4 years, we'll earn 70% with the option to earn an additional 10% to get us up to that 80 that you mentioned. So in the first year, we had to pay $5,000 and 100,000 shares to get access to saying that we're a part of the option now. At the end of the first year, we'll have to pay an additional $20,000 and another 200,000 options. And over the course of the 4-year option, we'll pay $250,000, 1.5 million shares, and we will have had to have done $4 million of exploration work over those 4 years. So we anticipate that would be quite doable, and it escalates like most option agreements do. The last 2 years are a little heavier than the first.
Okay. So you've got to spend $4 million over 4 years. So it won't be like this, but roughly $1 million a year there. You said you've completed that initial field work there. That was announced about a month ago, I think. It was that phase 1 field program there. So you've done your soil sampling and mapping. So
Right.
I think that press release was talking about phase 2, which is the drilling, which is next. So I wonder if you can perhaps talk us through that that drilling program, how it's being planned, what you're going to be looking for, how you're going to be refining targets, and when you think you'll be getting going. I know there's a lot of questions there, but just talk us through the drilling program if you can.
Right. Yeah. So maybe what I can do is give you our 10-month goal here on what we're looking to do. So we did do a very small soil sampling program a few months ago, and that a lot of the purpose of that was to hold some claims because it is quite a large project. We followed that up with a very extensive ground program, our phase 2 ground program that was completed about 3 weeks ago. And our goal is to take that information and further do IP. So we're looking to do induced polarity over the talon zone that had that done prior. And the reason why we want to do that is if you go to our website, Earthwise Minerals, you can see our deck. And one of the last pages, it shows an IP diagram there that shows the magnetic high on the bottom that appears to be opening. So there's quite a wide area where the IP was conducted. To the south of that, there's high arsenic numbers, which I said earlier could indicate gold. So we're hoping that's the case. And the IP is actually looking like it's expanding. So we want to continue that, to focus on that area because that's an area of interest that we're going to want to develop drilling targets at. And the work that Eagle Plains has already done, we already have drilling targets, but we wanted to do this work in advance to make sure that we got the best drilling targets that we could have with the data that we do have. So we'll want to do another private placement maybe at the end of the year, a larger one, or maybe early in next year in February, where it might be a good time to raise some flow through to do an extensive drill program. Now, we're a small company, so we might be able to do between 5 to 10 holes for our very first program, and that'll do us quite well to do our first year, or maybe even into our second year obligation for the option agreement.
Okay. So looking to spend the rest of this year effectively prepping that drilling program to start going early in the new year. Is that fair to say?
That's correct. Yeah. I think we would be looking to drill, best case scenario, early next year after the snow melts. There is a bit of an issue with elevation, although it's southern BC. You can drill year round, but obviously it's best to drill when the snow isn't there. It just makes it a little easier on the drilling company.
Okay. And just finally, Mark, if I can, just on the sort of funding situations, you've closed the private placing early August. You were talking there about perhaps doing another one to get the drilling program going, but I believe right now you're also in a private placement here. So I wonder if you can just talk us through the terms of that placing, and maybe it's a chance to give a bit of a pitch as to why investors should perhaps consider investing. If you want to give 3 reasons, it's up to you. But just talk us through, why people should consider supporting the company.
Sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, we are currently doing a private placement now at 2 cents, both non-flow and flow at 2 cents. The flow has a half warrant at 5, and the non-flow has a full warrant at 5. We did close a private placement a few months back. The primary goal of that was to fund our ground program that we completed. Now we want to fund a little bit more. To do the IP program and maybe some follow-up ground program on top of that as well, which will help us further define our drilling program. But we're on the CSE, and because we have so few shares outstanding, we are having to do these small incremental private placements. We have 21 shares outstanding now. So we're looking to increase that up to maybe 39 million shares after this current private placement that we're on. One thing that I can say is because we have so few shares outstanding, our share price is quite low. We're currently trading at 2.5 to 3.5 cents now. And I mentioned the private is at 2. But because we have so few shares outstanding, some funds, or most funds, will stay away from us for now. We need to have more shares, more dilution, so they could actually get out of a placement. So the type of investor we're looking for now is someone who is an individual that's looking to hold on to their shares for 10 months or so or more. I know a lot of investors like to see it through that first drilling program. So that's what I say our pitch would be is if you invest now and hold, we'll walk you through that first drilling program on an area that Eagle Plains did very well on 15 years ago. When they drilled, their share price did very well. So obviously a lot of things in the market have changed. We know the price of gold is substantially higher, but the market is also different. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. I don't profess to be an expert in any one of those, but I can say that gold is high, and we do have what appears to be a very good gold target in the Talon Zone. So we're very excited. The shareholders on Eagle Plains are very excited. They have participated in our last private placement, and we're also getting in the market recently investors from Eagle Plains and also some new investors. You'll look at our company and there's not a whole lot of volume, and the reason for that is very few people know about us. So part of the reason, and I'm thankful that you've invited me onto your program, is to gain exposure for Earthwise and to get the word out there that this is a good company, and we are going to be drilling early next year.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Mark Luchinski, the CEO of Earthwise Minerals Corp. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time as well. You have a good one.
Excellent.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.